You were just listening to the first few bars of All the Things You Are. My name is Paul Tobey from JazzMentl.com, and I wanted to point out, just with those few bars, you can sound like a great jazz pianist if you understand the progression that was just played. I think we often hear things and we ask ourselves, what is it that they're playing? It sounds so good to my ears. There's a little bit of dissonance and resolve, and I just want to know how to sound like that. So in this video, we're just going to focus on those few bars, and I'm going to show you exactly how to play what we call descending 2/5s in tritone substitution mode. And by the time you finish this video, you're going to know exactly what to do to sound like that. Let's get started. We're looking at All the Things You Are in the key of A flat. First chord, F minor 7. Play that any way you like. It's not really part of the formula. And then it moves to B flat minor 7. And this is where we get the changes. Instead of this, that's the typical way of playing it, like this. But we want to sound like this. So what's really going on here? Well, let's take a look at the actual chord changes and let's put in some substitutions that are going to help you sound just like that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on this destination chord. I always think about progressions by moving backwards from the destination. So if this were the destination, then working backwards note by note is probably a good way to approach reharmonization. And instead of E flat 7, we're going to take that out and we're going to use the tritone substitution of E flat 7. So right before A flat 7, we're going to put an A7 chord of some kind. And then we're going to count back from there in minor seconds. And we're going to divide the bar in half, so 2 chords per bar. So half step above A7 is B flat, and we're going to put in a 7th chord. We're going to make them all 7ths, which gives us that dissonance, 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 then resolve. So then before the B flat 7, we're going to put a B7, and then before the B7, we'll keep the B flat major 7. No, we're not going to do that. Of course not. We're going to put something in front of that. In this particular case, we're going to do an E flat sus chord, just because it sounds good. Now we could put a C7 in front of that, but we're not going to do that because you have to consider the melody when you're working on these things. So from the F minor 7 chord, then we're going to move down a half step from F minor 7 and we're going to put that over an E natural, which basically makes it an F minor major 7. All right, from the F minor 7, go down to the E, then we're going to play E flat sus chord. So basically D flat over E flat. Because our melody note is this D flat. So. And then when we get to the B7 chord, let's just do the left hand first. And what we're going to do with the left hand down here is we're going to play just 7ths. These are like shell voicings. If you're not familiar with shell voicings, I'll put a link to a video up here in the corner that talks about shell voicings. And we're going to just use 7ths. So from the B7 to the B flat 7 to the A7. So just going down in half steps. To the A flat major 7, we're going to switch that, an A flat augmented major 7th, which resolves to the 6th of the chord, like this. That's that inner voice movement we often talk about. So starting on the F minor 7th to E, E flat sus, and then just play the melody with the shell voicings. All right, once we have our 7ths in place in the left hand, we need to start making these chords sound richer. And the way we're going to do that is with one simple little trick, and that's to turn every single chord into a sharp 11 chord. So that's B7 sharp 11, B flat 7 sharp 11, and A7 sharp 11. Okay, so starting with the B7 sharp 11 chord, let's play the sevenths in the left hand. Then in the right hand, we're going to play the sharp 11, which is here, the ninth and the 13th, which is the melody note. So the A flat is the melody note. And then all you need to do is go down a half step to the B flat 7 sharp 11. So first chord, take a look at chordy. It says B9, 13 sharp 11, and then B flat 9, 13 sharp 11, and then our melody note stays the same. So you're going to take these three notes of the B flat 7 sharp 11 chord, and you're going to move them down a half step here. So melody note stays the same. See that? Now we've got an A9 sharp 11 and no 13th, because that would have been here. But that's not the melody note. The melody note stays as G natural. Okay, we're gonna stop momentarily. I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you like videos like this one? If so, there's a few things you can do. One, you can make a comment down below. That really helps us here at the channel. If you wanna ask a question, even better. I love responding to questions. And also, if you'd like to give it a thumbs up, it really helps the channel if you do that. And if you want to subscribe, hit the little bell and we'll notify you of all the upcoming videos that we're making. So from the F minor 7th chord to F minor major 7 to E flat 7 sus, or E flat 9 sus as it were. And then here's our consecutive 7th chords using sharp 11s. And then resolve that note on the A flat. Sharp 5 to the 6th or the 13th. One more time. All right, let's move down the page and we're going to do it again. This time we're going to use the destination as E flat major 7. So it just repeats, it just changes keys. So we're going from C minor 7 all right, so from the C minor 7th, and now we're going to do our consecutive 7th chord. So let's count back from the E flat major 7th chord, and we're going to put E7, yes, sharp 11. Then we're going to put F7 sharp 11, and we're going to put F sharp 7 sharp 11. Like that. Just like we did with the other progression, it's just now we're in a different key. And then here, there's our F7 sharp 11, or add the 9th and 13th. So how cool is that? Now you know that with destination chords, such as in tunes like All the Things You Are, you can just go back by half steps pretty much as far as you want to go, as long as the melody makes sense with that particular progression. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to write this out note for note. I'm going to transcribe what we just did, both sections that we just covered, and I'm going to make that sheet music available absolutely free. I'm going to put a link to download it up here in the corner. You just have to fork over an email address, and of course you can unsubscribe at any time, but at least grab the sheet music, practice it, because this progression is going to make you easily sound like a professional, and as you've seen, it's not that hard to do. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to post a video on this channel, which I'll put right here. This one is my entire performance on All the Things You Are if you want to hear the full reharmonization and my solo.